Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. And guys, I just want to go ahead and tell you that I've been watching the soft recession for a while, and nobody's really said a whole lot about it. I mean, news-wise, outlets, the whole 9 yards. And now Judgment Day is arriving, and we are officially arriving at a depression. And I apologize. It seems like every time I make a video in the truck lately, that it's raining and the windshield wipers are on, so just apology in advance on that. But you know, if you look, apparently it is being reported that the US dollar lost 10% of its value over the past year. Now, I just left Truist Bank and I took $310 and exchanged it and got back 343 on the exchange rate, because I had been laying some euros back here and there in between my travels, grabbed some at the airport, so that eventually when I took my wife to Paris, hopefully here in a year or two, when the girls got a little older, you know, we'd have some extra spending money right out the gate, you know, have that laid up back for it. And ever since that, seen that October 12th, the New World Order soft start of it is starting up with the facial recognition and the palm scanning and all this crazy crap in order to fly out. I'm out. Done. So I guess America is stuck here in the second beast of Revelation until this whole grand thing comes to an end, and the master comes back. But you know, when you look at exchange rates currently, the competition against the dollar, and I talked to my friend Dan this morning, and he said that the last trip into Mexico, he was getting like a 20-to-1 exchange on US dollar, and the last time he got like $17 per US exchange. So, you know, it's definitely taking a hit. And the thing is I just don't think it's took enough yet that people have fully immersed and understood just how devastating this is, because 10% in 1 year is pretty brutal. I mean, you got to be honest. You know, 10% of anything in a short space of time, stocks, anything outside of crypto, is, in my opinion, extremely brutal. So you know, there's that. Now, the next thing is, and I'm just going to give you a laundry list of why I believe and am convinced we're in a depression already, because all the warning signs are there, and honestly, it's copying the 1920s of Germany. I mean, you're definitely seeing a copy of that as well, and once again, my personal observation, my opinion, but the electric rates in some places have double-digit increased. Ours went up 3% here in East Tennessee, and I live next to hydroelectric power plants and photovoltaic farms. And I mean, there's one I literally can go half mile up the hill and look down at from my house. Would have loved to have the contract for that, but I don't do commercial grid tie. Next thing is, on top of the electric rates increase, is the used car market. The situation with the used car market apparently is always an indicator as to how healthy an economy is. And whenever you factor that in, right now, apparently used car lots are just struggle busting. I mean, nobody's buying. If anybody does come in to want to buy, they're wanting to haggle the used car places down. I mean, like one dude was just crashing out the other day. It was pretty brutal. And so, you know, when you account for all this, that's an ugly scenario, right? There's just no right or no way to work around that. I mean, the reality, and I apologize, guys, the phone fell there. The reality is that people just aren't buying. They're just not buying. So if they're not buying, then they're definitely not buying new vehicles. And I'm noticing at car dealerships, like I'm about to drive by one here in Sevierville, Tennessee in just a minute, and like nobody's there. Nobody's ever there. Like weekends, weekdays, Nobody's test driving. Car lot is full of cars, and I don't know. I apologize, guys. I'm so tired today. I don't know if it's the rain or what. It's just I'm so tired. But the car lot is just absolutely just empty of people, full of cars. The housing market. So I listed my farm for sale about this time a year ago. When I listed it, the market at the time was still considerably moving in my area in East Tennessee. Following listing my house, I have not had a single buyer come and look in a year's time. Now, it ain't because my house is crap. Matter of fact, I have dropped probably into the hundreds of thousands of dollars now in remodel over the past 5 years. The only thing that's not magnificent is the basement. And I just talked to an appraiser the other day, and he said that if I worked on that, it would be massive value added to it. And it's off-grid power available on it, well, farmland, the works, like homesteader paradise. And so when you factor that into play, that I'm just a small subset in rural America, right? Well, realtor people that I know that's in realty that love like family, it doesn't matter if it's a big house, it doesn't matter if it's a small house, doesn't matter if it's a middle road home, a mega multi-million-dollar home. Nobody's buying. They're just not buying. And furthermore, even the ones that get viewers, people to come by and view the houses, are few and far between. People are just strapped for cash right now. And a lot of people that do sell a house are moving to another house. So it's like a hop, leap, skip thing. And it's not just like, first time buyers or stuff like that. So there's that, right? There's that dynamic. And let me see if that contractor dude's going to pull up. Yeah, he's going to get out of the way. And so then when you consider upon that, that leaves an eerie feeling in the air, because if people's not buying homes, they're not buying vehicles. They are very, very conservative with their funds right now, because the reality is there's not a lot of cash to go around. There's not a lot of good paying jobs. A lot of places are hiring, but they're not really hiring. Like, they have the job posted up, they say they're hiring, but the job just stays on Indeed or what's the other one? Oh my gosh, LinkedIn and stuff like that, right? Multifamily homes. Speaking of that, hold this phone for just a second, guys. I'm almost to a parking spot, but I wanted to share my thoughts with you on this wall that I was in motion, because if I didn't, I don't know if since the 5G's turned on or what, but I get some serious brain fog anymore. And I try to do this whenever things come to my mind. The multifamily housing, a lot of people, you've got 2 and 3 and possibly 4 generations of people living in the same plot of land or same homes, because it is in just unachievable for people to have their own place anymore. Like, it's like people that have paid off their home can't even hardly live there just because of the land tax alone. The land tax is crushing people. It's something that many people don't want to have a conversation about, but it is a serious reality that is taking place. Okay, and it's only going to get worse, because a lot of people, as I'm going to break down some of these other points that I've wrote down, is that as they're getting pushed out of their rental homes and etc., they have nowhere else to go. So they're going to go back home to the fort, to the family. I tell you what, the home equity investment thing, I've actually looked into that, because I'm like, there is no doubt in my mind that Messiah is going to come back in the next 10 to 30 years. No doubt about it in my mind. And the reason being is because all the prophetic things taking place, New World Order getting established in place, you name it. And so knowing that, I thought about taking a home equity investment, because I'll just take a ton of the equity out of my home if I don't end up selling it, and then I'll just pay off and do the things I need to. And if I have to work like a $15 or $20 an hour job, if I had to myself, at least I can squeak by. I mean, I know that's an absurd thought process maybe, but it is an option on the table. Moving forward, elderly working. I personally know people that are in their 80s, approaching 90s. They're in the workforce. They cannot leave the workforce. They are hostage to the workforce. Furthermore, they will work in the workforce probably until they perish. And that is the future for Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, all of us. It will be the trend from now on, because the way that the system is geared, people think they have this illusion of freedom, but we're all slaves. We're all slaves. Another point is inflation. Inflation continues to soar. The more that money's printed, the more hyperinflation. It's not rocket science. You know, if I have a ton of product and, you know, there's a limited amount of cash, then there's a lot of value. If I have a ton of cash out there, still same amount of product, you know, it's just going to inflate. It's a disaster. Another thing too is pet surrenders. There's a lot of places people are surrendering their pet in because that they can't afford to take care of it. You know, the pet had to go first. And so it's very sad and unfortunate. I love my animals dearly. I will love on them, y'all willing, until they are no longer on payroll at my house. And, you know, I've tried to take care of all of our animals through the years, be very kind to them. And that's very sad to hear when people have to give up their pet or give it to somebody else to take care of. Rent rising, another point. Rent is soaring. People are paying upwards of $2,000 and $3,000 and I think $4,000 a month for some rental locations that, in my opinion, are just garbage. And I know I say my opinion a lot, because I'm like, if I'm gonna pay you $4,000 for a roach motel, why can I not just pay you $4,000 a month for an actual home? But people cannot get in to purchase a home. Furthermore, apparently there is an inequality of availability of housing. However, the housing market is completely stagnant, and you know, people are not building. You know, like another point to make, and I actually need to write this on my note for when I make the label for this video, is builders. There is a lot of people that are not building now. I know of guys right now that need work. One guy reached out to me the other day wanting to do off-grid work with me because that he don't have a job now because the builder that he worked for cut him loose. And, you know, because there's no money, there's just no money coming in. And, you know, I live paycheck to paycheck now because, the electrical and HVAC company I was working for, due to, a situation internally at the company that happened beyond anybody's control, I was 1099 with them. They had to let me go back in August of this year, I think it was. Yeah. And so I've been just back freelance, full-time off grid. Like, you know, I've always done this gig work for now 11 years, but that's all I have. And so, like, outside of that, and you know, picking up electrical work here and there, regular electrical work for people and stuff at times, like, that's it. So this month, y'all willing, looks like I'm gonna squeak by. Next month is questionable what may happen. Might be able to slide through the end of the year without a problem. But, I mean, who knows? I may have to go back and get a regular day job at some point. I mean, it's just the way it is. Heck, I mean, like, literally, you guys that watch this content, especially those of you who support me on Patreon, you're literally paying to keep me alive on this platform, because StreamYard costs like $25 a month, cap cuts 90-something a year. Internet is $50 or $60 a month to, I mean, and that's just like the baseline stuff. There's all these added costs and subscription services and all this editing stuff, and it's ridiculous, man. And everybody's going up on their subscription fees. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are actually supporting the production of content over there on Patreon and here on YouTube, honestly. And so it's crazy. Everything's going up, subscription services, all that stuff too. You see it. But I guess the two biggest lasts for me is that entertainment, travel, stuff like that. When you see that die off, that's when you know you're in trouble. Now, here in East Tennessee, where I'm at, the cabin companies and stuff that I worked for, they're and still do work for people, individuals and stuff, and for these cabins, they are down 30% currently on bookings, I think was the last I was told here about a month or so ago. And that is like one of the biggest areas right here compared to when COVID started, because, people couldn't go to Disney World and all that stuff, so they rolled up here on the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and then people like, man, this is great, and then so people just started vacation here all the time, and so, it grew and grew and grew, but now it's even swelled way back 30% minimum, and I think it's more than that. I just think the 30% is the impression that is feelable right now, tangible. And so airlines, have dropped flights, multiple different locations worldwide to the U.S. and abroad, that you've already seen that scale back. And people taking vacations is absolutely minimalized. I went by a golf course that's just premier golf course. Love it. Golfed there. I went by one day. I was doing HVAC work for somebody that day. Not a soul on the tee box. Not anybody on the green, fairways, anywhere. And it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day. It wasn't like it was bad weather or anything like that. Prime vacation season, nobody golfing. Very, very concerning when you see they scale back that big. That people's broke. And the last point I would make, guys, is the telltale to me that we are headed toward a depression is because the first depression that we had in this country, people had the means to somewhat buffer it because they could grow crops, they could go hunt in the woods, they could go fish, they could do a lot of things. Nowadays, you have to have a hunt and fishing license. You can't go unless it's season for this or that. People don't have a wood stove. People don't have a garden in the backyard. People don't even have a backyard to put a garden in because they live in an apartment complex. They might have 2 garden boxes to hang off their balcony, and that's about it. It's a total different paradigm. And when people get excommunicadoed out of their living space, these homeless laws are in place now to remove them. There is a current notification been put out that 2/3 of the people that went to Alligator Alcatraz are unaccounted for. People have been handcuffed and apparently thrown out of the back of planes and washed up on shoreline. That has been reported in multiple places. I imagine that to be true. I would not doubt that a bit. There is also apparently a Neuralink testing center not far from Alligator Alcatraz. Probably a lot of souls perished there. It's no telling the atrocities that's honestly going on in our country now. But the homeless laws will definitely affect so many people because the people, when they lose their home, now they're going to be criminal for losing their home. Or their apartment or whatever, being out on these streets and can't sleep in a car in the parking lot. There's all sorts of laws against that now, loitering, and it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. I know things are going to get terrible everywhere, but I have this overwhelming concern of, just a man needs to get up out of here if he can, while he can. I don't know. I feel like there's this imperativeness to get out of this country. I've felt it for a while. I don't even know how to get up out of here now and where a man would go. Like, the walls are closing in. October 12th, I'm going to be doing a stream, a video or something about a new world order, digital ID and all this stuff, and getting ready to fight this. I hate it. COVID definitely sharpened the sword that I've about my belligerence, not wanting to comply to things, but probably going to have to double or triple down even harder now. It's a mess. And turning those euros in today, last thought I'd leave with is the euros I turned in today at Truist. I was just thinking, that's so sad that, I want to see the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre and the Seine River and, oh my goodness, the Arch of Trump and Versailles Palace, and the list just goes on. And, that problem never happened. Never happened. I know the new kingdom will be far greater than anything we could ever imagine. Y'all will when we make it, and kind of worthy life, but it is what it is, guys. So just be prepared. We are definitely at the threshold of a depression, and all the signs are there. So, guys, it's always to see again here, 7 Times Prayer channel. I hope Most High y'all Baruch you and keep you, make His face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends, in Yahushua name.